Would you dare spend a night alone inside a house where doors move without explanation, footsteps echo through empty hallways, and stories have been passed down for generations without ever fading away? Houses are meant to shelter families and hold memories, but some seem to have absorbed something more than that. Places where the past did not remain only in the records, but feels present in every wall and every detail forgotten by time. Some homes across the United States became known not just for their architecture, but for the persistent reports from people who stepped inside. What turns an ordinary house into one of the most unsettling places ever documented? In this video, you're coming with me on a rising journey through the 10 most terrifying houses in North America. We begin with less intense locations and move toward properties with histories that are much harder to ignore. Stay until the end, because the number one spot is considered by many to be one of the most unforgettable cases ever recorded. United States, Salem, House of the Seven Gables. Located in Salem, Massachusetts, United States, the House of the Seven Gables is an old historic home known for its colonial architecture and the unusual reports connected to the site over the years. The house also gained recognition for inspiring a classic literary work. Built in the 17th century, it went through several modifications over time and belonged to an influential family in the region. The turning point came when it became a historic site open to visitors, increasing the flow of guests and curious reports. The structure is made of wood, with multiple levels, steep roofs, and hidden interior passages. The rooms are connected by narrow staircases and hallways that create an unusual sense of movement through the house. Access is available through guided tours. The route includes tight staircases, low doorways, and passageways that increase the feeling of confinement. The real risks are low, limited to old floors and narrow areas. The atmosphere is marked by dark wood, limited natural light, and the constant sound of creaking. One especially striking feature is the secret passages, which reinforce the sense that there is more to this place than what first appears. Documented fact: the house is one of the oldest preserved colonial buildings in the United States. Popular report: visitors claim they hear footsteps on the upper floors, even when no one is there. The House of the Seven Gables became a historic symbol of Salem. And if a house with centuries of history already creates this kind of feeling, the next place brings even more persistent reports. United States, Oyster Bay, Raynham Hall. Located in Oyster Bay, New York, United States, Raynham Hall is a historic residence, known mainly for recurring reports tied to a figure associated with the property. Its reputation has crossed generations and become part of the region's culture, making it one of the most recognized locations of its kind in the area. The house was built in the early 18th century and belonged to a family connected to important events in American history. Over time, it was preserved and later transformed into a museum, allowing its history to remain accessible to the public. The structure has 2 floors and is built of wood, with large rooms and hallways typical of the colonial period. The interior still holds historic furniture and objects that reflect the original use of the space. Access is available through organized tours. Movement through the home is simple, but the layout and quiet atmosphere create a stronger sense of isolation as visitors move between rooms. The risks are minimal, mostly tied to the natural wear of the old construction and the need to be cautious around aged floors and staircases. The environment is quiet, with soft lighting and the frequent sound of creaking wood. Staircases and hallways tend to concentrate most of the reported experiences. As visitors move deeper into the house, the lack of external noise makes even small sounds more noticeable, adding to the overall tension of the environment. Documented fact: the house is recognized as a historic landmark in the region and has been preserved for its cultural significance. Popular report: many people claim to have seen a figure dressed in old-fashioned clothing appearing in different parts of the house, especially near staircases. Raynham Hall remains one of New York's most talked about places when it comes to stories like these, maintaining its reputation over time. And if the reports here are already persistent, the next place carries an even heavier past. United States, Cleveland. Franklin Castle. Located in Cleveland, Ohio, United States, Franklin Castle is a historic residence known for its imposing architecture and the sheer number of reports connected to the property over the years. Its appearance alone draws attention, with towers, arched windows, and unusual details. Built in the late 19th century, the castle was once home to an influential family in the region. Over time, a series of events inside the house helped shape its reputation. The turning point came when the property went through different occupations and periods of abandonment. The structure is made of stone, with multiple floors, towers, and many interconnected rooms. The interior includes long hallways, staircases, and areas that create a complex flow through the building. Access is limited and not always open to the public. When entry is possible, the inside reveals an environment full of enclosed spaces and very little natural light. The real risks include structural wear, poorly lit areas, and the need for caution while walking. The atmosphere is defined by silence, dense walls, and a lack of light. Echoing footsteps and a constant sense of isolation are part of the experience. Documented fact: Franklin Castle is considered one of Cleveland's best-known historic structures. Popular report: visitors and residents have described hearing footsteps, seeing doors move, and feeling as if they were not alone in certain rooms. Franklin Castle became one of the most talked about places in the region when the subject is homes with intense histories. And if this structure already gives off that kind of feeling, the next location takes that experience into an even more personal setting. United States, Atchison, Sallie House. Located in Atchison, Kansas, United States, the Sallie House is a simple residence that became widely known due to persistent reports linked to the property. Unlike other homes on this list, its exterior is ordinary, which makes its reputation stand out even more. The house was built in the early 20th century and served as a family residence for many years. The turning point came when residents began reporting unusual experiences inside the home, which gradually drew attention beyond the local area. The structure is small, with only a few rooms spread across a main floor and limited additional space. The layout is straightforward, with connected rooms and very little separation between areas. Access is possible, and the house has received visitors interested in its history. But the closeness of the rooms makes every sound or movement feel more immediate. The real risks are low, mostly related to the age of the structure and the need to be careful with floors and older installations. The environment is quiet, with little outside interference. Small noises become more noticeable, especially during the night when the surroundings are completely still. Because the rooms are close together, even minor sounds can seem amplified, which adds to the overall tension inside the house. Documented fact: the house became known after residents reported unusual incidents over time, bringing attention to the property. Popular report: visitors and former occupants have described objects moving, unexplained sounds, and marks appearing without a clear cause. The Sallie House became known for turning an ordinary home into one of the most talked about locations in Kansas, maintaining its reputation over the years. And if a simple house can generate this level of reporting, the next location involves a case that became one of the most recognized in American history. United States, Villisca. Villisca Axe Murder House. Located in Villisca, Iowa, United States, the Villisca Axe Murder House is a residence known for one of the most shocking cases ever recorded in the region's history. Its reputation is directly tied to an event that took place in the early 20th century. The house was built in the late 19th century and originally served as a family home. The turning point came in 1912 when an incident inside the house permanently marked its history and brought the property national attention. The structure is made of wood and has 2 floors, including bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and interior areas connected by narrow staircases. Today, access is available through guided tours and monitored overnight experiences. The layout includes small bedrooms and tight hallways that intensify the feeling of closeness. The real risks include the age of the structure, limited lighting, and the need to move carefully inside the house. The atmosphere is quiet, with little natural light and a strong presence of creaking wood. At night, the place feels even more isolated. Documented fact: the case connected to the house remains one of the best known in local history and was never fully solved. Popular report: visitors describe hearing footsteps, seeing doors move, and sensing a presence in certain rooms. If this journey has you hooked so far, now's the perfect time to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because from this point on, the next places only get more intense. The Villisca House became one of the most famous locations in the United States when it comes to powerful, real-life stories. And if this place already carries that kind of weight, the next one goes even deeper into a case that has lasted through generations. United States, Fall River, Lizzie Borden House. Located in Fall River, Massachusetts, United States, the Lizzie Borden House is a historic residence known for one of the most famous cases in American history. The property was marked by an incident in the late 19th century that still echoes today. The house was built in the 19th century and served as a family home. The turning point came in 1892 when an event inside the house drew national attention and turned the property into a historic reference point. The structure is made of wood, with 2 floors, several bedrooms, a sitting room, and interior spaces connected by hallways and central staircases. The layout follows the style of homes from that era. Access is now allowed, and the house operates as a themed lodging site and tourist attraction. Visitors can move through nearly all of the original rooms, preserved over time. The real risks are low, but include the age of the structure, wooden floors, and limited lighting in some areas. The environment is quiet, with very little outside interference. The sounds of wood and the echo in the hallways make every movement more noticeable. Documented fact: the case tied to the house had major national impact and remains one of the most famous in United States history. Popular report: visitors claim to hear footsteps, noises coming from empty rooms, and the feeling of a presence in certain parts of the house. The Lizzie Borden House became one of the most visited places for people interested in history and mystery. And if this case has already crossed generations, the next location brings an atmosphere even more heavily shaped by the past. United States, Vicksburg, McRaven House. Located in Vicksburg, Mississippi, United States, the McRaven House is a historic residence known for its long timeline and for reports tied to different periods of its existence. It is considered one of the oldest homes in the region and carries a reputation built over many years. The house began construction in the late 18th century and was expanded over time, passing through different owners and historical moments, including periods connected to the American Civil War, which contributed to its historical significance. The structure combines different architectural styles, as sections were built in different eras. Inside, there are several connected rooms, including bedrooms and sitting areas, reflecting the changes made over time. Access is available through guided tours. Walking through the interior reveals spaces with different characteristics, creating a sense of transition between periods of history. The real risks are minimal, mostly related to the age of the structure and dimly lit areas that require attention while moving through the house. The environment is quiet, with slight temperature variations between rooms. Subtle structural sounds become more noticeable, especially in more isolated areas. The shift between spaces creates an uneven feeling, as if the house does not follow a single consistent pattern throughout. Documented fact: the house lived through important historical periods, including the American Civil War. Popular report: visitors described light sounds, temperature changes, and the feeling of a presence in different parts of the home. The McRaven House became a known destination for those interested in historic locations with persistent reports. And if this house already reflects different eras in one place, the next location takes that experience even further. United States, San Diego, Whaley House. Located in San Diego, California, United States, the Whaley House is a historic residence known for the powerful reputation it built over decades. It is frequently mentioned as one of the most talked about homes in the country when the subject is persistent reports and unsettling experiences. Built in the mid-19th century, the house served as a family residence, but it also had other uses over time, including commercial activity, and even institutional functions. That variety of uses helped build its reputation over the years. The structure is made of brick, with 2 floors, large rooms, central staircases, and several connected spaces. Part of the original construction was preserved, keeping authentic features from the period. Access is available through guided tours and nighttime events. Visitors move through different parts of the home, especially hallways, staircases, and rooms that connect continuously from one space to another. The real risks are low, limited to the natural wear of the building and the need to watch your step in older sections. The atmosphere is quiet, with controlled lighting and a constant echo in certain areas. At night, the house takes on a heavier mood, where every sound feels stronger. Documented fact: the house is considered an important historic landmark in San Diego and is preserved as heritage property. Popular report: visitors describe hearing footsteps, low voices, subtle object movement, and small changes in the environment. The Whaley House established itself as one of the best-known places of its kind in the United States, maintaining that reputation over time. And if this residence already gathers so many reports, the next places take that experience to an even more intense level. United States, San Jose, Winchester Mystery House. Located in San Jose, California, United States. The Winchester Mystery House is a residence known for its unusual architecture and the way it was built over decades without any conventional plan. Its fame is tied both to its structure and to the reports connected to the site. Construction began in the late 19th century under the supervision of Sarah Winchester. The house went through continuous expansion with work that almost never stopped. That constant growth became the turning point, resulting in a truly unique structure. The house contains dozens of rooms, staircases that lead nowhere, doors that open into walls, and hallways that change direction without warning. The structure is made of wood and still has a layout considered unusual even today. Access is available through guided tours. Moving through the interior is complex, with multiple paths, staircases, and passageways that can easily create disorientation. The real risks include narrow staircases, uneven flooring, and the need for constant attention while walking through the property. The atmosphere is shaped by silence, controlled lighting, and a constant sense of spatial confusion. The repetition of hallways and doors makes it feel like the house never truly ends. Documented fact: the house underwent continuous construction for decades, resulting in one of the most unusual residential projects in the United States. Popular report: visitors describe disorientation, subtle changes in the environment, and the sense of being watched in certain parts of the house. The Winchester Mystery House became one of the most iconic locations in the country when it comes to strange architecture and long-lasting stories. And if this place already challenges logic, the next one closes the list with one of the most intense cases ever recorded. United States, Burrillville, The Conjuring House. Located in Burrillville, Rhode Island, United States. The so-called Conjuring House is a residence known for reports that gained major attention over the last few decades. The property became widely known after being linked to one of the most talked-about cases in the country, which turned a quiet rural home into a reference point for unexplained accounts. The house was built in the 18th century and served as a family residence for generations, remaining part of the local landscape long before its reputation expanded beyond the region. Over time, reports began to emerge, but the turning point came when one specific case gained national visibility and started being investigated. The structure is rural and made of wood, with 2 floors, several bedrooms, sitting rooms, and interior spaces connected by central staircases. The layout follows the pattern of old homes in the region, with interconnected rooms that create a continuous flow through the house. Access is currently controlled, and the property receives visitors through guided experiences. The route includes most areas of the house, allowing people to walk through hallways, bedrooms, and shared spaces that still preserve much of their original structure. The real risks are low, but they include the age of the structure, limited lighting, and the need to move carefully through older floors and narrow staircases. The atmosphere is quiet, with a strong sense of isolation created by the surrounding rural setting. Subtle sounds such as footsteps and creaking wood become more noticeable, especially at night. Documented fact: the house became widely known after investigations that gained public attention and helped establish its reputation. Popular report: visitors described temperature changes, unexplained sounds, and the feeling of a presence moving through different rooms. Because of its history and the consistency of these reports, the Conjuring House remains one of the most recognized locations of its kind in the United States, continuing to attract visitors interested in its past. From preserved historic homes to residences marked by events that lasted through generations, this journey showed that not every house is just a place of comfort. We started with buildings that carried curious histories and moved toward locations burdened by persistent stories that are hard to ignore. With each ranking, the tension grew stronger, showing how the past can remain present in unexpected ways. These places are not just walls and old structures. They are real traces of what happened there and of what many people still choose not to forget. Now I want to know, which of these houses caught your attention the most? Would you dare spend a night in any of them? And what other place do you think should be included in a future list? If you enjoy this kind of content, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That helps the channel grow and guarantees more videos with this same level of immersion and intensity. The Conjuring House became one of the most famous places when the topic is homes with intense histories. And by the time you reach this point, one thing becomes clear: some houses carry far more than just memories.